All right, peace and welcome back to another Through the Bible. We will pick it up with verse 35 in Luke chapter 22. As I always tell y'all, get y'all Bibles out, grab a pen, a piece of paper, take notes, and follow along. And Mama, if you will.
Okay. I was trying to figure out how to make the scripts come up there. You know where you do that.
If you click on text.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Okay, now there.
Always be something simple. All right, y'all. All right, so Luke 22 and verse 35.
35, yes, ma'am.
And he said unto them, when I sent you without purse and scrip and shoes, lacked you anything? And they said, nothing. Then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that have no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. Okay?
And the reason why the Lord Jesus is saying that, he's going to explain it in verse 37. Because all this time that he's been with his disciples, he had been providing for them and protecting him.
That's right.
But if you want to, Mommy, read that verse 37.
And it says, for I say unto you,
Because this is why.
that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me. And he was reckoned among the transgressors. For the things concerning me have an end.
And that's why I'm telling y'all what I'm telling y'all, because I must fulfill this prophecy concerning me, or in other words, to lay my life down so you will not have me as you have all the way up until this point. The time is at hand for me to be taken away from y'all, go on a trial,
Yes.
and then proceed forward to be crucified for the sins of the people of Israel. So now you must take care of yourselves and one another.
That's right.
All right. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 12.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 12. And it reads, therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong. Because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors.
So now we see where it is written right here in Isaiah. That's what Jesus was talking about. It was written right here. We're reading it. He was numbered with the transgressors, and we know he was no transgressor.
That's
But
right.
yet numbered for them. Why? Numbered with them. Why?
And he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors.
So the Lord knew he would sacrifice himself, holy, perfect, sinless, for the sins
Yep.
of Israel,
That's
that
right.
he may take them away. And let me tell you, family, he paid an awesome price.
He sure did.
Did not come cheap. So back to Luke chapter 22, and we'll pick it up with 38. But see, Christ know, like he had told the disciples, I send you forth as lambs among the wolves.
That's right.
So that's why he's telling them, make sure you, now he's telling them, take you a purse and a scrip.
Yes.
And if you ain't got no sword, you better buy one.
That's right. Yep.
You heard that, Christian?
That's right. Buy you some protection.
Christians say, no, don't get no weapon. Well, why Jesus telling them to buy a sword?
That's right. He sure told them.
Luke chapter 22 and verse 38.
And they said, Lord, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, it is enough.
It is enough.
Boy, they ain't waste no time.
Yeah, we got 2. And you know, the person who said probably Peter.
Yes. I know Peter was in on it.
Because we know he whipped his sword
He
out
sure did.
on that priest servant.
That's right.
All right, verse 39.
And he came out and went, as he was wont, to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples also followed him. And when he was at the place, he said unto them, Pray that ye enter not into temptation. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast, and kneeled down and prayed. And you know what I like about this? When he told them he said to pray that you enter not into temptation. Peter, you should have been down there really getting it in. Because that time is going to come upon you after Jesus is arrested.
Be tested.
Yeah. And then you're going to go to denying and all that. See, that's why Jesus telling us to pray.
Yeah, you better pray.
Verse 42.
Yes, ma'am.
Saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done.
So this thing was heavy
It sure
on the
was.
Lord Jesus. That's why I say he paid an awesome price.
He sure did. He did pay an awesome price.
Listen to what he said. If you be willing, take the cup from me.
My goodness.
But nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. And this is the mindset that we gotta have. Your will
Yes.
be done, because we all gonna be tested.
Sure is. Yeah.
Verse 43.
And there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him.
Oh, so an angel appeared.
And that's what I like, Lord. He send you some help.
He send you some comfort. Verse 44.
And being in an agony,
Mm.
he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was as it were great drops of blood falling down to the ground. My goodness.
Think about that.
That is some serious agony right there.
Because you know you going to your death. Death is still unnatural.
Yes.
It's like, whoop, whoop, going to die.
Yep.
But get excited about it. No. And not only just death, I mean an excruciating,
Yes.
painful, slow, miserable death.
See, that's the thing. He knew how everything that was to take place of how he was going to die. Man.
And you have some of these Israelites out here that spit on the Lord Jesus
No.
and this great sacrifice that he made. You
Yes.
think you're going to escape?
No, you ain't.
You think you can, what did the writer of Hebrews say?
How can we escape?
You know, when you despise the blood of Jesus. Let's go to Hebrews 5 and verse 7.
My goodness. Oops.
Yeah, that's what he said. How much a sore punishment should you have that trod under the foot the Son of God, and have
Yes.
counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing.
My goodness.
So Hebrews 5 and 7.
Hebrews 5 and 7 says, who in the days of his
So
flesh,
you talk about Jesus.
when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard in that he feared.
And that's what we're reading about now. Strong crying.
Yes.
Agony. Sweat was as great drops of blood. That's some real agony right there.
Yes.
Okay, so back to Luke 22 and verse 45.
Okay. Okay. Luke 22 and verse 45 reads, and when he rose up from prayer and was come to his disciples, He found them sleeping for sorrow.
So they sleeping. For what?
Sorrow.
For sorrow. Verse 46.
And said unto them, Why sleep ye? Rise and pray, lest you enter into temptation.
So he's telling them, hey man, you need to be praying. Because y'all don't understand. I'm really being taken away. I'm not
Yes.
joking around.
That's right.
And I've protected you this whole time and I've provided for you. So this is going to be a great test because
That's
I'm not
right.
going to be here no more. You know, physically.
Right.
How we used to be chopping it up, eating bread together,
That's right.
walking about Jerusalem and Israel. And I was
Yeah.
teaching y'all. We got to get serious.
That's
And
right.
sometimes this is how it is, even with Israel today. You're warning them. You're telling them to pray. You need to prepare. What is Israel doing? Sleeping. Talking while you talking.
Yep.
Because they don't really believe
That's right.
until it all go down.
That's right.
Verse 47.
And while he yet spake, behold, a multitude,
And while he was speaking to them, a multitude.
and he that was called Judas, one of the 12, went before them and drew near unto Jesus to kiss him.
Here comes Judas. And this multitude to betray the Son of God.
Yes.
Verse 48.
But Jesus said unto him, Judas, betrayest thou the Son of Man with the kiss?
With the kids, master. Whole time you was with me. You
Yep.
was working behind the scenes
With the enemy.
with the enemy to
That's something.
sell me out, and then got the nerve to kiss me. There's a lot of black people like that. You got to be careful. They will shalom you.
Yes.
They will occulty. They will prophetess.
That's
they
right.
will pastor, man of God, woman of God.
That's right. But betrayal.
But behind the scene,
Yes. Betrayal going on.
passing information along when you emailing them and when you messaging them privately,
Yep. Look what he said. Look what he said.
screenshotting everything and sending it,
That's right.
giving out locations. So you have to be very, very careful.
That's right.
But the Lord knew all this was going to go down. It was written.
That's right.
So it's not taking him by surprise.
No.
Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 6.
Okay.
So be careful because everybody kissing you and giving you the pat on the back and that a girl, that a boy.
Don't mean you no
They
good.
don't mean you no good. And Israel love that. They
They
love
love it.
pats on the back.
Yep.
That's why the heathens been able to get over on our people because they love that. They love the kiss of an enemy.
Yes. Yeah.
Proverbs 27 and 6.
Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
So faithful is the wounds of a friend. You want somebody that's gonna check you.
That's right.
Seem like they always getting up in your face, always getting on you, always telling you what you could do to get better.
That's right.
That's a real friend
Friend.
that will warn you,
Yep.
rebuke you.
Yeah, and you be like, I'm so hurt. What you said telling me about myself. Hey, you want that. The person cares about you.
That's right. But the kisses of an enemy are deceitful, and that's what our people love.
Yeah, them kisses just make me feel so good, so wanted, so desired.
But this other guy, girl over here, always getting on me.
And so, and the fact that the enemy is that close to you that they can kiss you,
Yep,
that's pretty close.
that's
There.
pretty close.
So you gotta have spiritual discernment up in this walk. Said are deceitful.
Deceitful. Just like Israel here in this country. They'll tell you how they vote Democrat, they love Democrat, but
Oh,
a Democrat
yes.
kissed you.
Yeah, I'm a sugar bug. Yeah.
But then they do stuff like how these migrants come here, all these
Yes,
immigrants,
that's
and
right.
form right into your neighborhood. See, they was deceitful.
That's right.
They tell you one thing, but then they do another one, and it all hurt you.
That's
and at
right.
the end, you left crying because you don't listen to God. 2 Samuel 20 and verse 9.
Okay.
Our people never listen. Said it be their own getting them and the heathen.
Yeah.
2 Samuel 20, 9 through 10.
Okay.
We're
Second.
going to look at an example of a kiss of an enemy.
2 Samuel 20, verse 9. And Joab said to Amasa, Art thou in health, my brother?
He said, how's everything going? You going good, Amasa?
And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him.
And this wasn't no gauging, huh?
No, my brother.
But he, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, brother.
That's right.
Verse 10.
But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand.
Because all he saw was,
He saw the good.
but he see this over there. He see that.
Yes.
Because see, Joab wanted some revenge for his brother
Yep.
that Amasa killed.
That's right.
But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand.
So he smote him therewith in the fifth rib and shed out his bowels to the ground.
Man, he did he went up in there and
all
then
your
he,
intestines came out.
man,
Good Lord.
shed out his blood to bowels to the ground.
And struck him not again.
It was just one blow and then one smooth cut across the
Joab was
stomach.
ruthless. And he died. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued after Sheba, the son of Berechiah.
That's why you better be careful. The kiss of an enemy.
That's right.
And this is what those that truly love you, they will warn you about the sword that is in the hand of the enemy.
That's right.
While you focused on this, Shalom, you better vote Democrat or
That's what they
Republican or whatever they tell you.
Yep. That's right.
And we sitting there looking at the sword and we saying, hey, look at that big old blade right he got in his hand. You see that gun?
Yeah.
Quit trying to show me the gun and the blade.
That's right.
The man said, if you love me, you gonna vote because you ain't black.
That's right. And the other one said, where these gold tennis shoes?
Where these gold? Yeah, then you got the other orange man. I got some tennis shoes y'all can wear. And we steady showing you the sword.
Like, look at this right here.
And we
Israel
also
don't believe
yeah,
nothing.
they don't believe it until they get smoked or stabbed up under that
That's
fifth
right.
rib.
They be like,
Then Israel said, "Oh God,
I'm bleeding.
preacher, sister."
That's right. That's
Then
the
they
truth.
want to go to repenting and crying and hollering out and save me.
Yep.
And I think David's son did the same thing when he wanted to what you call it? What's that word? David's son, I think Absalom,
Oh yeah.
when he was trying to get the
revenge.
king. Well, he wanted to be the king over Israel, try to overthrow his daddy.
That's right.
He was around there kissing the people, taking their babies, kissing the
That's
babies.
right.
That's
That's
what
like
he
a
was
politician,
getting.
right?
You man of Israel.
Yes. Yeah. And our people love
They love
that kind
stuff
of
like
stuff.
that. And his son knew that. So our people gonna have to get smart.
It sure is.
And our people are smart, but they just, that's a part of that pleasure.
Yeah.
They love to be told how cool they are. They queens, kings.
And who gonna let me do what I want to do without me having to get checked?
Yep. So back to Luke 22 and verse 49. We gotta stop falling for that
Sure
foolishness.
Okay. So Luke chapter 22 and verse 49. When they which were about him saw what would follow, They said unto him, Lord, we will smite with the sword.
Shall we start killing with the sword? Now they already told
Yeah.
Jesus we got 2 swords right here.
You can go down right now.
All right, and so those which were about was the disciples. And once they saw where this was headed,
Yeah. You know Israel love to fight.
verse 50,
And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his right
didn't
ear.
waste no time.
Jesus will give you the go ahead.
He said, listen, I ain't finna
Y'all
wait to see what you, I ain't gonna wait to see what you gonna answer. I'm finna take your sword out.
That's right.
Verse 51.
And Jesus answered and said, Suffer ye thus far. And he touched his ear and healed him.
In other words, don't. This thing must happen. This is what he was telling them. See, but you know Israel don't be listening. He's been telling you the whole way up until this moment. Hey, I'm going to be betrayed.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sold out. The priests, the chief priests, the Levites.
That's right.
They gonna all deliver me up to the Gentiles to be crucified. He telling them this the whole way.
Yeah, they didn't
From the
do it.
beginning of Luke all the way we almost to the end.
That's right.
John chapter 18 and verse 10. Because we're going to see who this was that drew the sword out.
Oh, yes. Okay, John 18 and verse 10. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it and smote the high priest's servant and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Then said Jesus unto Peter, Put up thy sword into the sheath. The cup which my Father have given me, shall I not drink?
And that's
of it?
why he said in the other account, suffer it thus. This must happen. I have to go through with this.
Yes.
There's no escaping this.
Yep.
This is a spiritual battle. This ain't a physical thing.
And if anybody should have became a believer, it should have been Malchus.
Yeah.
Because you know your ear was off.
I'd have believed right then and
You
there.
wasn't hearing nothing. Jesus put your ear back on.
John 7 and 14. And that's love, even in the midst of that.
Yes.
Let's see, I think this camera off just a little bit.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yep. Okay. Hopefully I can Okay, here we go.
All
Be
right,
back.
there we go. That thing that you're doing what it want to do, y'all.
So
so-
John 7 and 14, 30 and 44 through 45.
Okay. So John chapter 7 and verse 14.
Well, let me make sure that I read all the way.
Did you? Okay.
Let me see real quick, y'all. Okay, so actually we'll go back to Luke real
Okay.
quick. You just copy this. Because I meant to read all the way down to 54.
54, that's fine.
And then,
Okay.
yeah. Is that where we were at? Well, I guess you can just type in there, Mama Luke 22,
Yeah. And then that way they'll know to go back.
52 through
54?
53.
53?
53, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, so we're going to go back to Luke 22, and we're going to read verse 52 and 53. And it says, Then Jesus said unto the chief priests and captains of the temple and the elders which were come to him, Be ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves?
Am I some kind of thief that you got to come out to me?
Sword, yeah.
And he gonna tell you why. Verse 53.
When I was daily with you in the temple, you stretched forth no hands against me. But this is your hour and the power of darkness.
Wait a minute, these men's of God. So they, in other words, y'all saw how I was. You see how I'm not a threatening man
That's right.
for you to come out at me like this.
That's right.
But we need to understand this how the enemy see you.
That's right. That's right. Law keepers, mind you that.
Yeah. Law keepers.
We ain't talking about no everyday street thugs. Law. We talking about priests, captains of the temples, elders.
That said they was under the law of Moses.
That's
that
right.
said that they was sons of Abraham. But clearly
Them.
they ain't doing the works of Abraham.
Nope.
Children of the devil, because he said the power of darkness.
That's right.
That's why Jesus told him, your daddy is Satan the devil.
That's right, boy. That teed them off.
Boy, they ain't like that.
But that's what they was doing.
And see how the enemy come out at you.
Yep.
It didn't say a multitude.
Multitude.
So we got to understand what we dealing with. And this is why a lot of people don't want to do the work of Christ either. They'd rather just talk
Yeah.
because they don't want this to happen to them.
Yep.
Verse 47 and on down.
That's right. Something come attached to it. Pain and suffering.
That's right. Okay, so now, Mama, we can go to, you should be able to just copy and paste it because I copied it before I, okay.
Okay. Now.
Now we're going to go to John 7,
Okay.
verse 14. Because he said I was in the temple, teaching daily. You didn't lay hands on me then. And notice when they did that at what? At night. John 7 and 14.
Now, about the midst of the feast, Jesus went up into the temple and taught.
Remember, he said that I was in the temple daily and I taught,
Yes, he
including
did.
on the feast. This is the Feast of Tabernacles. Verse 30.
Then they sought to take him, but no man laid hands on him because his hour was not yet come.
See, his hour was not yet at that time. Okay, and then verse 44 through 45.
And some of them would have taken him, but no man laid hands on him. Then came the officers to the chief priests and Pharisees, and they said unto them, Why have you not brought him?
And it's the same group that Jesus is talking to right now. In Luke 22 and 53, you stretch forth no hands against me, but now, see, now is the time. This is your hour and the power of darkness.
Wow.
Okay, so back to Luke 22 and verse 54.
Okay, so Luke 22 and 54 says, Then took they him and led him and brought him into the high priest's house. And Peter followed afar off.
Okay, so in other words, Jesus was arrested. He was seized. They took him and they brought him to the high priest's house, the lawkeeper's house.
Yes. Yes.
And that's one thing about your enemy. Your enemy, because see, Israel has a group clique mentality.
Oh, yeah.
But when your enemy come after you, the first thing they do is separate you.
Yep. Sure do.
That's why Jesus would have told the disciples, hey, take a purse, sword, everything like that. It's going to be a great time of trouble.
That's right.
Because I'm going to be taken away.
That's right.
And the Lord is our example to every believer. You're going to follow Christ. This is what's going to happen. When you really do it his way. I ain't talking about playing church. I'm talking about doing the works of Christ.
That's right.
They're going to separate you.
Yep.
So Lord's willing, like, for example, Israel's church, it's all four of us. We doing the work. Well, when the enemy come, we're going to say, well, we're going to take all four of them together. No.
They separate
The
you.
enemy say, you coming with me. You coming over here.
That's
you
right.
going over there.
That's right. Sure do.
Because the enemy, the whole thing is to intimidate you, put fear in you, to make you
right.
turn away from who? To make you turn away from God, lose your faith.
That's right.
Okay, verse 54 at the end it says, and Peter followed afar off. Let's go to Matthew 26, 56 through 58.
Okay. Matthew chapter 26 and verse 56 reads, "But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled."
Wait a minute, they forsook him and fled. Mm-hmm. The same ones that said, I don't care what they do.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because they was doing all that talking when Jesus would tell them, hey, this is what's going to happen
Right.
to me and stuff like that.
That's right. You had a sword.
don't
Why you
stand.
read? Yes. And just think about it, I got a sword.
He told the Zebedee brother, can you drink the cup? Yep, drink the cup.
Yep.
And y'all run.
That's right.
Because see, it's one thing when you talking about what's going to happen versus when it happens. When it actually go down.
Yep.
When
Totally
the pressure
different.
on you.
That's right.
When your feet in the fire. Verse 57.
And they that had laid hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest.
Oh, so now we know which high priest. It was Caiaphas. Caiaphas.
Where the scribes and the elders were assembled.
One, they was already
His
sat up.
house.
Yep, they was already down there. Assembled.
That's right. Isn't that something?
They ain't have to be called. They was already there.
Yes.
Because why? They had already planned this.
Already planned it. Think about that.
Verse 58.
But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end.
So Peter is inside and he's looking. He's watching this trial. He's about to watch all of this go down. All of the elders, all of the chief priests, all of the scribes, they're all sitting in this council, in this Sanhedrin. And the trial is about to take place, and Peter is watching to see what's going to happen.
That's right.
Luke chapter 22 and verse 55.
Okay. So Luke chapter 22 and verse 55 reads, And when they had kindled a fire in the midst of the hall, and were set down together, Peter sat down among them.
So Peter sat down among them. So when Peter was in the palace, it doesn't mean he was out in the open. No, it was very discreet because he didn't want to be caught.
Yep.
So a fire was kindled in the midst of the hall. Because I think it wasn't winter time during this time.
Well, yeah, because remember this is time getting close to the Passover. So
Passover,
yes, it
so,
can
yeah.
be cold during that time
Yeah.
and warm up later.
Yeah. Okay, verse 56.
But a certain maid beheld him as he sat by the fire, and earnestly looked upon him and said, This man was also with him.
So this sister was looking, and you know Israel women can do it. They don't say them.
I know
While you
him
just
from.
sit there doing your thing, they just sit there. And then they said, "You look familiar."
That's right. Yep.
And then she said, "This man was yeah, yeah. I remember he was with Jesus." All loud.
That's right.
Verse 57.
And he denied him.
He denied Jesus.
He denied
So
him,
here go the first denial.
saying, Woman, I know him not.
I don't know who he is. Verse 58.
And after a little while, another saw him and said, Thou art also of them. And Peter said, Man, I am not.
So some man said, yeah, you roll with him too. Yeah, can't miss you because you a certain way. Yeah.
59.
So that's the second denial, man. I'm not. Verse 59.
And about the space of 1 hour, after another confidently confirmed.
This one was really confident. I just... In about an hour, I guess say about an hour. So about an hour had passed.
saying, "Of a truth, this fellow also was with him, for he is a Galilean."
Wow. Said he's a Galilean. That's how I know. Remember, Jesus was from Galilee,
That's
and
right.
he's a Galilean. I know this man.
Yes.
And what happened? Verse 60.
And Peter said, "Man, I know not what thou sayest." And immediately while he yet spake, the cock crew. Man. That's right.
Verse 61. And what happened?
And the Lord turned and looked upon Peter.
So the Lord, look,
Told you.
think about that.
Told you what you was going to do.
In the midst of Jesus is in trial, he looked. Told you were going to deny me. Verse 61.
And the Lord turned and looked upon Peter. And Peter remembered the word of the Lord, how he had said unto him, "Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice."
And you know what was heavy, right? Because it said about the space of an hour. Okay, so it was about another hour went by. So Peter hadn't seen yet. He hadn't realized yet that, hey, I just denied the Lord.
Yeah,
Think
right.
about that.
Yeah. That's
It
so
only
true.
came back to him when the cock actually crowed.
Crow, yes.
Because when the Lord say something gonna happen,
You can.
it's
count
gonna
on it.
happen.
That's right.
How did that slip his mind? He didn't remember that the Lord said, you gonna deny me.
That's right.
Verse 62, and what happened?
And Peter went out and wept bitterly.
Wow.
Boy, he was doing some seriously crying. Yep. To know that he did that.
That's why Jesus had told him before all this happened, but I prayed that you lose your faith. So obviously this hit so deep that faith was on the line.
Yes, that's right.
Verse 63.
And the men that held Jesus mocked him and smote him. And when they had blindfolded him,
And they blindfolded him.
they struck him on the face and asked him, saying, "Prophesy, who is it that smote thee?"
So that's part of them mocking him.
Man, oh man.
2 Chronicles chapter 18 and verse 23.
Okay.
We're going to go look at a prophet that this happened to. See, because all that we read in the law of the prophets were a shadow of Christ. 2 Chronicles 18 and 23.
Okay. Second Chronicles chapter 18 and verse 23. And then Zedekiah the son of Cheniah came near and smote Micaiah upon the cheek and said, "Which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee?"
See how Israel don't change?
Sure don't.
Even down to Jesus, they do it the same thing. And they did the
Same thing.
apostles the same way, and they would do us the same way if the heathens wasn't in the way.
Yes, sure would. That is
That's
the
what
truth.
these black people do to you. Because they, guess what? They have no love. Which is what the law was teaching them. They have no love for their brothers and sisters.
That's right.
That wasn't love to gang up on Jesus. You done plotted
Sure
and planned
wasn't.
against him. You supposed to be so-called keeping the law.
That's right.
So really, you ain't keeping it because you ain't got no love.
That's right. But you try to tell our people this, even to this day. That love thing just won't resonate in their mind. They can't do it.
So back to to Luke chapter 22 and verse 65, and we will read it all the way through.
Okay. So Luke chapter 22 and verse 65 says, "And many other things blasphemously spake they against him."
Yeah, in the law, in the law it tell you not to blaspheme the Lord your God.
Yep. And then that's what Brother Reggie was saying, that Israel,
That
they mouth
mouth.
need to be born
Yep.
again.
That mouth,
Truly, they are the children of our
they
ancestors.
are the yes. Verse 66.
And as soon as it was day.
Oh, it was day.
It was day.
See, that's why the cock ain't crew. Don't the roosters crow when it get early? I mean, it ain't quite daytime, but they start
Yes.
at about dawn.
Yep. Because they started around here all the time. In that backyard.
And as soon as it was day,
The elders of the people and the chief priests and the scribes came together and led him into their council, saying, Art thou the Christ? Tell us. And he said unto them, If I tell you, you will not believe.
okay, so now they having their council. So that mean that night, because I might have said it wrong, that mean that night they had Jesus in hold. Because remember, we got to go to bed.
Yep, that's right.
Now these new Israelites today that believe the day began at night, they'd have been up holding council. They'd have been sleepy as
That's
hell,
right.
but they'd have been holding.
Yep. And that's what they did too with the Passover lamb. They had to hold it.
Hold
remember?
it. Yep, sure did.
Yep.
So that's Exodus 14. Y'all can go read about that.
Yep.
They had to keep the lamb up.
Yep.
All right. So now they're holding the council. Led him unto the council, saying, Are you the Christ? Tell us if you the Messiah. He said unto them, If I tell you, you will not believe. And that's the truth. That's how it be with these Israelites.
Yeah.
You're like, listen, if I tell you, you still won't believe.
That's
Because
right.
they ask you all kind of questions, already knowing within themselves.
They
don't
made
believe
up.
that.
That's right.
Well, that's why I'm here, standing here in the council.
That's right.
Because you don't believe.
That's so true.
Verse 68.
And if I also ask you, you will not answer me, nor let me go. Hereafter shall the Son of Man sit on the right hand of the power of God. And then said they all, Art thou then the Son of God? And he said unto them, You say that I am.
You say that I am. Verse 71.
And they said, What need we any further witness? For we ourselves have heard of his own mouth. He just confessed it.
Yep.
And if he did, it's true to word. You ain't believe it.
You ain't believe it. Yep.
But that's Israel all
That's
day.
Israel all day.
You could talk to them, tell them, show them. They don't believe nothing. Yep.
Till the trouble come. And they'll
Then.
believe then. Because you better believe when 7 AD rolled around,
man.
a lot of them same chief priests and scribes
Man, you could imagine.
hollering and wailing. Too late now.
Yep. Too late.
All right. So, family, that's all I got. Mom, you got anything else you want to add?
Nothing else.
And with that said, we will say shalom.